Habake looks at how GU number 1 died, at GU number 2's hands, thinking that he should have cloned GU in the first place instead of the griffin. Yep, a bit slow there. Habake. Eurus calls Habake's attention and asks what his end goal is. Habake greets Eurus and comments on how cute and cuddly Eurus is in his current form. Eurus irritatedly tells him not to change the subject and asks if the order came from them. Habake smiles and changes the subject again, asking permission to poke Eurus' cheeks. We need a real-life Eurus to poke. A sound from the ground made Habake and Eurus look at it. A lump of flesh wriggles on the ground and starts to get bigger. Habake asks what that thing is, while Eurus only looks at it while thinking that G was again pulling a horror game crap with his healing factor skill. G can't help himself from being disgusting. The flesh continues to wriggle as it forms into his human body. A hand comes near Habake, and a face forms in a palm, greeting him. This scares the crap out of Habake, making him run away shrieking. The scene straight out of Junji Ito. G was disgustingly back to the world of living in the game, but has not yet completed his regeneration. He hears a step behind him, finds GU number 2, and calls the clone a fake. Eurus then says that GU number 1 looks more fake because of his deformed body. GU number 2 uses swing down to attack GU number 1. Before the attack reaches GU number 1, his body completely regenerates, and he uses swing up to deflect GU number 2's attack. This shocks both Eurus and Habake, and the two attacks cause a massive explosion as it cancels one another. GU number 2 and GU number 1 dash to one another and attack. The wooden sticks clash like swords and causes explosion around them. The two activate the Million Strikes skill at the same time, which causes more flashes and explosions, and the continuous attacks kill both of them. Habake is excited by what happened and expects both GUs to disintegrate. Eurus disagrees, and as the smoke of the fight dispels, 2 lumps of flesh are wriggling in the ground. Healing factor gets activated for both GU number 1 and GU number 2. And it's twice the horror. Habake asks Eurus for confirmation if both are technically fine, and if they really have to do that horror show when they regenerate. The two get healed up simultaneously, and they continue their fight. It's definitely one of those unending fights. Seeing that this will continue for some time, Eurus asks Habake again why he suddenly showed up and kidnapped Captain Love. Habake says that Eurus should pay attention to the people around him. He continues by saying how everyone knows that Eurus is the strongest monster in Chrono Life. Habake then asks Eurus why did he suddenly become a servant to a mere human. Eurus answers Habake with a question. He asks if Habake can't see what is going on right now. Habake then realizes what Eurus wants to say. Wouldn't you want to be a servant to this? Habake tries to smooth things over. He claims there are a few misunderstandings, and that he is uninterested in GU. His only goal is the fragment of God. Eurus asks if Habake is referring to Captain Love. Habake laughs, saying that it was preposterous. Sarang owns a fragment of God. It's the Knuckles. Back inside the hidden tower, Sarang's mother asks for forgiveness. Waiting for Sarang's response, her mother looks at Sarang's hands and grabs her by the wrist. Her mother then reveals her ugly face as she asks Sarang the whereabouts of her Knuckles of Silence. Outside, Eurus learns Captain Love's wildly expensive Knuckles of Silence is the fragment of God. Habake explains that its monetary value is unimportant, despite how the price indicates value and functionality for players. The Chrono Life items are divided into different classes. There are normal, rare, unique, and mythical. Habake assumes that there are also the Ascended items he hasn't seen before. Eurus then thinks of the Ascended items he had seen for Chapter 11. Perks of being GU's servant. Habake continues his explanation that mythical items are exceptional if you don't put Ascended items in a picture. And this is particularly true for the gods. Luna, the goddess of life, watches over the current affairs near the hidden tower. She eats sandwiches, commenting on how Habake cannot keep secrets, and asking her companion for affirmation. Luna's companion is God, the blonde dude GU met back in Chapter 4 when he destroyed the planet. God munches on a sandwich, saying that it's okay. He mentions how Luna herself is collecting the fragments of God. Luna sighs upon learning that God knew. God expresses how anxious Luna must have been when Uriken absorbed the fragment of God. Although this means the fragment is now, well, we'll see later. This plot twist is just amazing. GU number 2 and GU number 1 are still fighting, and GU number 1 gets hit by GU number 2. Habake explains to Eurus that although they have the same stats and control abilities, they're inherently different. One is a player, while the other is a bot or an AI. Humans are prone to fatigue and mistakes, while an AI can give its maximum output because it does not experience fatigue. Learning this, Eurus flies to where Jiu is. Human versus AI. Jiu rests on one knee as blood drips from his chest. Eurus worriedly asks him if he's okay. The slash on Jiu's chest regenerates with the help of healing factor. Jiu clenches his teeth and becomes red in excitement as he exclaims how fun this is. Eurus and Habaek blankly stare at Jiu. His screw is loose. Jiu raves about how his previous fights are boring because they quickly die in one swing. He wants to fight with his clone some more and doesn't want to kill it. Eurus asks what Jiu was saying because from what he sees, Jiu is in danger right now. Jiu number 2 dashes to attack Jiu number 1. Reassuring Eurus, Jiu admits he already has 2 ways to end the copycat loser. Eurus, Habaek, and Luna are shocked. Only God remains smiling as he eats. Jiu number 2 and Jiu number 1 are still fighting. Each hit causes a big explosion that reaches outer space. It's not an overreaction. It literally goes outer space. Jiu's claim of having 2 ways to defeat him makes Habaek curious, while Luna claims that Jiu was only bluffing since Habaek is on a different level than other monsters. Habaek's OP skill means he can't be taken down by one person. Jiu explains that the first method is to destroy the whole planet, which he already did before. This remark made both Luna and God flinch. Jiu continues to explain that destroying the world would end the game like last time, and Captain Love would get to respawn in the village while the copycat disappears. Thinking it's old, Jiu says he will use the second method. This made both Luna and God slightly at ease. In real life, though, CEO Gyeokbae Choi is biting his nail and nervously repeats, not the second method. The second option is definitely another bad idea concocted by the MC in the hidden tower. Serene's mother shows her true face as she asks the truth about the knuckles of silence, telling her how she wouldn't get mad. The woman reveals that Habaek promised them a large sum if they could bring that to him. She asks Serene if she could give it to them, since they are not asking her for real money. The woman crazily reasons how she gave birth to Serene. Can we just beat her up? Serene says she doesn't know where her weapons are and that those just suddenly disappeared. Her father makes a sound of disapproval and admonishes Serene for hiding them. Serene swears that she doesn't know, but her father smacks her. He curses and verbally abuses Serene as he continues to slap her. He uses the exact words his wife previously used and commands Serene to give him their money. All the time, he kept on hitting Serene. They're the perfect definition of trash. Outside the hidden tower, Jiu number 2 and Jiu number 1 face one another as purple light emits from the magic crest on the ground. Jiu number 1 activates his skill Veracity, and a gray tentacle emerges from Jiu's mouth. How disgusting can he get? The tentacle stabs Jiu number 2 on the nape and sucks him. Habaek sighs and says that the clone can do it as well. Jiu number 2 then stabs Jiu number 1 in the chest and sucks on him. The two continued using Veracity on one another. Let me rephrase that. How disgusting could they get? Habaek explains that the clone is an exact mirror of Jiu. Anything he does can be done by the clone, and the battery keeps the clone going. With the strategy not working, Jiu goes for his plan B. Habaek looks at Jiu in askance when Jiu then stabs Habaek in the chest with a tentacle. Jiu claims that this is his second strategy, which is to kill the source. Habaek realizes that this was all planned by Jiu as he gets sucked away. Okay, so option number 2 is absorbing Habaek. Jiu number 2 disappears because Habaek has taken fatal damage. Jiu says that he had a good time and bids Habaek farewell. Unwilling to lose, the almost dry Habaek grits his teeth and slashes Jiu's tentacle with one of his mirrors. Surviving the Veracity skill, Habaek explains how he has to fight hard this time. Having no choice, Habaek finally surrenders his attempts to take the fragment of God. This shocks God, and he asks Luna if Habaek knows that the fragment of God got absorbed by Urigen. Luna laughingly answers that she never told Habaek about it. She really likes inciting things. A real-time waster. Habaek then floats away as he expresses his retreat. Jiu pulls back his tentacle and criticizes Habaek for leaving without permission when he obviously lost the battle. Habaek agrees and tosses a mirror to Jiu. The mirror has no specific number, but still contains one of the 8 mirror powers. Eurus was shocked that Habaek willingly gave a mirror to Jiu. Habaek tells Jiu to consider it as a loot prize for beating him. While it may not be the official prize, it is still valuable enough for Jiu to consider letting Habaek go. In a typical Jiu fashion, Jiu claims he'll get better drops if he kills Habaek. Greedy. Habaek says that Jiu is really evil. He then explains that the mirror only works if Habaek is alive. So keeping him alive would be better for Jiu. Habaek says goodbye and vanishes in thin air. But it makes you wonder if this is the exact scenario the CEO doesn't want to happen. A system interface congratulates Jiwoo for taking possession of Habaek's mirror. Jiwoo dismisses it since Habaek is not his goal. Instead, he wants to get Captain Love back. Inside the hidden tower, Serain continuously receives a beating from her father as she gets cursed by him. This reminds her of the time when she was young and got abused. Getting nowhere in reprimanding Serain, her parents decide to just get their money directly from her. They claim that the restraining order doesn't have any effect in the game world, and it would be possible for the three of them to be together forever. Nope, nobody here wants that. Serain cries as she prays for anyone to save her from that nightmare. Jiwoo appears as he digs his nose for dirt. He says that Serain could easily log out. It is that easy, but please rid the room. Serain's parents ask who he is and scold him for interrupting them. Serain realizes that Undies is there. The father then identifies who Jiwoo is, but Jiwoo simply smacks the father in the head with his wooden stick using strike without killing. Jiwoo asserts that he is always polite to his elders, but this doesn't apply to nasty old farts like them. Thank you, we badly need that. The father proclaims that they are Serain's parents. This irritated Jiwoo more, and he stressed what kind of parents hit their kids and extorted money from them. The mother screams how they really are Serain's parents, but Jiwoo cuts her off. He asks why they are bringing reality to the game world. This only loses the point of games. Exactly. And the woman argues some more. Jiwoo calls Captain Love and asks why she's just taking this abuse. He encourages Love to fight back since she's obviously stronger than them in this world. It shocks Serain, then she explains how these people really are her parents. Hearing this, Jiwoo continues getting dirt from his nose and scolds Captain Love for discussing reality in the game world. Jiwoo gets what kind of family Captain Love has, then reminds her that bringing drama into the game world loses the point of playing. He then asks her if she will keep running away in both worlds. Captain Love gets angry with Undies, saying he doesn't know how much she has suffered. Her mother slaps her in the face as she undermines whatever kind of suffering Serain has experienced with her own suffering. Stop hitting the waifu. Jiwoo laughs from his side, saying the woman can't read the room and that she's screwed. But Captain Love's strength stat getting hit will hurt a lot. As Yu says this, Captain Love raises her fist to attack the woman she called mother. All of the suffering she experienced were thrown in this punch. Captain Love hits the woman in the face, and the impact blows the woman away. Finally, some peace and quiet for my OTP. The next day in the real world, Serain admits in an interview how she enjoys playing Chrono Life. She explains how hitting monsters can help relieve her stress. The interviewer says how he had never seen this side of her, and Serain answers how her personality in the game could be her true personality. She said this with a beautiful smile on her face that got everyone's heart thumping. Mine's also thumping right now. She also shares her newfound wisdom that if you are looking for something real in a game, there had been no point in playing. She definitely stole that from Undies. After the incident in the game, Serain recovered from her trauma and became more confident in real life. She doesn't need to hide behind her glasses anymore. After her interview, she gained more fans, and Jiwoo is now a fan. Now, Serain spends more time playing. Gamer goals, Jiwoo logs into the game, and there he is greeted by Captain Love's angry face. She beats Jiwoo up for lying and being late. Jiwoo explains how you watched Serain's interview on live TV, but Captain Love continues to beat him up as she says it was pre-recorded. Rom-com pair. After beating him up, Captain Love tells Undies to follow her, and that she'll only forgive him this once. In return, Undies must boost her this time. Love admits that she is still a newbie to the game. She gives Jiwoo a beautiful smile, claiming that it would really help her if Undies boosted her since he is a pro. Okay, that last panel literally made my heart skip. The top 5 Alliance Guild or World Alliance Guild is at the top of all the guilds in Chrono Life. Each of the 5 guilds in this alliance has a power and uniqueness that makes them the best among others. One of the top 5 guilds is taking a different path. They have the most members in the game. All the guild members are thief class. They are the Righteous Bandits Guild, the strongest of the 5 guilds. What makes this guild unique is its ability to gather information. But the reputation has fallen in one night. Hong, the leader of the Righteous Bandits Guild, stands atop a mountain looking at his fallen members at the mountain's foot. He turns and jumps off from the top. As he dashes off, a thug-looking character appears beside him. Surprise, Hong uses a backstep slash that slashes the thug in half. The thug says that Hong is better than the others as he disappears. Hong looks at the disappearing thug, thinking the death effect looks strange. Stab. The thug is still alive and stabs Hong in the back using a longsword. The thug claims that he couldn't be beaten. Nonetheless, Hong asks who he is and why the man would do this. The man then says he is doing it because it's fun, and he starts wearing a copy of Hong's mask, killing Hong in the end. And we've got a new villain. In a forest, a carriage is being pulled by a cat-like monster. The driver announces that they are almost at the Rock Mountain dungeon. Inside this carriage, level 999 G was munching on a lump of meat like a Neanderthal, while level 24 Love holds onto a map. This carriage service is called Kitty Carriage. Provided in Chrono Life to travel to famous regions, the cat-like monster is called a Devil Cat and is tamed to pull carriages. The service originated from a regular tamer class user, and his success made him more money than CEOs of small companies. Cat lovers will eat this up. The carriage reaches the Rock Mountain dungeon, which is made up of a huge singular rock that stands more than 1,000 meters tall. It spawns monsters with an average level of 30, and many generate simultaneously. This is a good leveling spot for beginners. Undies and Love decided to go to this place to boost Love. Ji-Yu thinks it's troublesome to help her boost to a specific level and wonders if he should just lead her to the US map to carry her to the max level. Let's go for the fastest route. Ji-Yu looks at Captain Love's bare hands and remembers something. He brings out the knuckles of the Ascended from his inventory and presents it to her. Wow, the greedy MC knows how to give presents. Ji-Yu says that he realized that her knuckles were missing when he gave her back her scarf. Since he's a pair with him, he'll just give it to her. Love blushes as she looks at the weapons and bursts into tears. It's the first time she's received a present, and Ji-Yu asks about her fans. Love says that he shouldn't compare himself to her precious fans. Love hugs the knuckles to her chest as she wipes her tears. Love thanks Undies and promises to treasure them. Love finally asks Ji-Yu for his actual character name, saying she forgot his name when she started calling him Undies. Ji-Yu starts saying his character's name, but fails when the kitty carriage abruptly stops. Why? Do you really need more chapters just to learn his IGN? The stop makes them throw the things they were holding and fall into an awkward position. Undies is lying on his back with Love on top of him, and with Love's left hand on his thingy. Oh, well, my ship might start sailing soon. The Devil Cat abruptly stopped because of a hooded masked man's appearance. The man who looks like Hong, the leader of the Righteous Bandits Guild, asked them for help. Sus. In the carriage, the masked man tells how he was attacked by a player with his level and class hidden. He only discovered the character's name and how that guy was not a regular user. He explained that the person who attacked him had cloning powers and made an exact copy of his traditional ho-ho mask right before him. And the name of that character is Butt Man. He seriously needs to rethink his name. Love has never heard of him, while Eurus imagines what the Butt Man looks like. G seriously asks the masked man who he is as he picks on his nose. Undies and his disgusting habit. Love tells Undies who the masked guy is as Eurus looks at his master. Amazed by his master's ignorance, Love says that even little kids know who Hong is. Eurus reminds his master that Hong was one of the 3 million people he massacred. She even only says that whatever it is, this has nothing to do with him. Hong then apologizes and removes his mask. He is actually a she, and a very pretty one at that. Seeing his pretty face, Ji-Yu does a 180, asks Hong what she needs of him, and tells her that it's actually his hobby to help someone in need. Love makes a face beside him in disbelief. Hong thanks him and reveals that the incident has something to do with Ji-Yu. A crossdresser. The server infrastructure support team is heading home from Chrono Life's main office. The manager, someone says he will do the overtime instead of his staff. The staff Kenshim teases their manager that he and the missus haven't made up from arguing. That employee sure has the guts to joke like that with his boss. The team banters as everyone goes home except for their manager. After being left alone in the office, manager someone's face changes as he mocks his staff for being losers and doing half-assed work. The boss sucks. He sits down and opens his drawer. He continuously mocks his team as he pulls out his virtual reality headgear. He puts on his headgear and logs into the game, claiming it's time to make cash. The game confirms his identity as an administrator and welcomes him as Butt Man. With a crappy personality like that, he deserves the name Butt Man. Butt Man floats in the air and summons his weapon. His weapon is the plus 99 Blade of Enforcement with a unique rake. It was a weapon used by the Battle King, and only one existed. And this weapon also possesses the ultimate power of destruction. Still, nothing compared to Ji-Yu's stick. And as an administrator, Buttman has maxed out his level and all his stats. Reaching the master level makes one eligible to get the best of the best items in the game, the weapons of the Ascended. This became a hot topic among users, but no one has ever seen it to confirm its existence. This only means that the knuckles of the Ascended that Love received from undies are the best of the best. With its value, it can officially serve as an engagement gift. Love nervously asks undies if these are really Ascended weapons. Jiu confirms and says not to worry about it and just use them since he still has a lot of Ascended items. Love dazedly looks at Jiu, confirming if she heard it right. Love equips the Ascended rank weapon, and the knuckles of the Ascended are now bound to her for eternity. With a flash, the system announces that she is the new owner of the knuckles of the Ascended. The flashy-looking weapon suddenly poofs and loses its sparkle. The weapons become the sealed knuckles of the Ascended. As a user who is not yet Ascended, the weapon deems her not qualified to use it at its full power, and a large portion of it has been sealed. Love can only raise the weapon's strength as she levels up. Love rants about how Ascended weapons suck if you are low level, as she says how it would have been better to equip a unique rank weapon. Her hands slightly tap on the rock where she's sitting. This causes a big crash in the area and shocks Love. Jiu tumbles a bit with the meat in his mouth. Love looks at her weapon with wonder, thinking that a sealed weapon like this can still cause this destruction. Yours mentions that it was pretty weak as he munches on a meat of his own. He thinks that Ascended weapons were hyped, and he expected too much of it. Jiu agrees with yours as he stays in his awkward position. The level of expectations of OP characters is too high. Yours then asks his master what he plans to do with Home's request. Jiu plops into a sitting position and says he should help since it involves him. Home previously mentioned how Buttman says he does things for fun, but Home concludes that it is a lie and the real goal is money. Buttman's real plan is to copy items and sell them for cash. The Righteous Bandits Guild knows that Jiu makes money by selling his items. She explains how his mass selling of items from Eurus Lair brought down the value of the item. No use explaining. Jiu is ignorant of these things. This caused the market price to fluctuate. What Jiu did was still within his legal rights, while Buttman abused his authority and do the same thing, making it illegal. In this case, Jiu is a part of Buttman's scheme, and if left alone, it'll ruin criminal life. Jiu then says that the character should just be reported to have the character banned, and Home says that Jiu was more naive than he thought. Home already did that, and all she got were a bunch of pre-made replies. Typical. Home believes that Jiu is the only person capable of stopping Buttman because of his history of the World Guild Alliance massacre. TLDR. Home's request is to have Jiu find and eliminate Buttman before the game gets destroyed. Jiu thinks it's a hassle, but he must do it. He reasons that letting the Buttman go would damage his source of income. Jiu can't randomly search for the guy, so he intends to threaten the boss. In the real world, Jiu threatens CEO Diokbe Choi to come out and meet him in the suit shop or he will crash the servers again. CEO Choi asks him what it is all about when Jiu suddenly hangs up. Rude. Jiu laughs and turns off his phone. Boss Choi tried to call him back but was unable to connect. He curses and throws his phone in irritation. Jiu imagines how he'll order an extra large soup and have the CEO pay for it. When you meet Serang outside his house, Serang tells Jiu that she's coming with him, and that he should call her Serang out in the real world, making Jiu blush. Too bad Eurus isn't here to see this progress. In the real home-style grandma's soup, the CEO yells for Jiu, calling him a brat for hanging up on him. At one of the tables, the boss finds Jiu and Serang eating. Boss Choi then scolds Jiu Homer style. He deserves it. The boss then asks who the girl is, asking if she's Jiu's girlfriend. This makes Serang blush, and she asks if that is what it looks like. But Jiu immediately says it's ridiculous, explaining that Serang is a famous idol star, and saying things like that will get him beaten up by Serang's fans. Diokbe Choi continues to admonish Jiu when Serang slams her fist into the table with a smiling, angry face. Jiu nervously agrees while CEO Choi looks at her with interest. The two tell boss Choi about the Buttman and his copying skill. The boss then explains how Chrono Life's ironclad technology allows Chrono Life to trade cash for items. Jia reminds the boss that the copying and selling of items in real life have already transpired. The boss is still skeptical, saying that Home could have been confused since there's not even a 0.1% chance for it to happen. The CEO forgot how Jiu's wooden stick got reinforced. Jiu continues to argue, saying it might be a bug, and they start betting on it. Serang then asks if it is possible to have the attack done from the inside. This gets the boss thinking, but he still says it's impossible. The employees have administrator accounts but don't have the function or ability to copy items. The boss then puts his spoon down and bids goodbye, leaving Jiu to foot the bill and telling them to enjoy their date. This makes her happy as she says goodbye, while Ji-Woo thinks the old dude wants him dead. You can't trick Chrono Light's president into treating you. Boss Choi lights tobacco outside the restaurant and calls for one of his staff. The CEO commands him to hire 5 men who can keep a secret. Oh, Sylvie also thinks it's suspicious. Back in the game, Undies and Love are just outside the Rock Mountain dungeon, getting nowhere with their talk with Chrono Light's boss. Undies curses Buttman while Love voices her thoughts. She thinks about what Buttman wants because if the guy wants money, why attack the Righteous Bandits Guild? Love points out that Buttman's copying ability means he can copy any item in the game. So why ambush the guild with the most information about Chrono Life? Undies looks at her with a shocked face that looks like someone who just made a realization. Then he answers that he doesn't know. Let me hit this guy. Love was exasperated and says she couldn't expect anything from someone like Undies. Ji-Woo admits he's not the intelligent type as he and Eurus eat meat. 5 AP and INT, definitely not intelligent. Boom. A large explosion occurs near them, and Love comments on how it is as big as the explosions that happen when Undies attack. Hearing this, Ji-Woo dashes towards the explosion. Amidst the smoke, the man falls to his knees with blood dripping from his mouth and left arm. It is none other than Habaek, and before him is Buttman. Buttman mocks Habaek for being weak despite being the unique boss. Habaek asks why a mediator of this world is doing something he shouldn't do. Habaek reminds Buttman of the consequences of his actions. Buttman grabs Habaek in the neck and says how an NPC shouldn't talk back like that, and him being a unique boss means he's unable to respond and get deleted. Buttman threatens him with this and asks where Habaek's master is. Habaek refuses to tell, and Buttman raises his sword to kill him. Before Buttman gets a strike, someone stops him. Seeing who it was, Buttman expresses how it is perfect that he doesn't have to go and look for her. Luna, the goddess of life. Buttman tells her to stay still and that she will get her turn after he kills Habaek. I would love to see him try. Luna insults Buttman, getting the guy angry. Luna expresses her disgust. Buttman throws Habaek to the ground, saying he shouldn't be wasting time. Buttman walks toward Luna and asks her where Habaek's master is. He then briefly says it's okay if she doesn't answer because he can torture her. Looking at Buttman, Luna remembers the time she was threatened by Ji-Woo. She shares with Buttman how she had been in a similar situation before, but the feeling was completely different. Buttman begins to ask when a giant monster foot squashes him to the ground. The colossal monster's foot came from a portal that Luna controls. With blood splattered on her, she says that the experience with Buttman is repulsive. She really likes Undies. Luna turns her back and walks away. She hears Buttman and flinches. Buttman says that the goddess is cocky for being the master of the monster from the portal. Luna looks back, sighs, and says she'll ensure he is dead this time. The colossal monster peers down at Buttman from the portal. Luna claims that scoundrels like him have no place in the world. Buttman tells her to shut up as the surrounding changes color. The area becomes a unique space called the GM Zone, which can only be created by a GM or Game Master. The space is where administrative tasks like game testing are conducted. Definitely an abuse of rights. Buttman mocks Luna, saying that it's only a game and that she should get over it. In an area close by, Undies and Love are still dashing toward the explosion. Jill believes that the explosion would have something to do with Buttman, and he feels that this was indeed an inside job. You remember that when they were talking to the CEO, Jill saw Diopei Choi's face looking worried. Our boy is all grown up. He's now paying attention to those around him. I'm so proud of him. Jill claims that killing everyone in the Righteous Bandits Guild in one go can be possible if Buttman uses a special account. Love then expressed that it's good he came up with that, but they should run faster. Their agility stat is very low. Love only has 14, and of course, Jill only has 5. The master level character with 5 agility. Jill and Love reach an area with traces of a GM zone. They have no idea what it was, but Habaek, who was sitting on the side, explains that Buttman left those, and he teleported away. Habaek then greets Jill with a tired expression. Jill notices Habaek's missing arm and asks about it, while Love thinks about how this guy kidnapped her last time. Habaek explains that this was done by Buttman and how that guy took Luna to the GM zone. This confirms their thoughts on how this was an inside job. Jill asks who Luna is. Habaek thought Jill knew her since Luna always talked about Jill. Habaek says that Luna claims that Jill was madly in love with her, making Love angry. Habaek then describes how Luna has long, straight black hair. With that, Jill concludes Luna is the road who calls him a noob. Glad to know that we're not the only ones who are slow in learning everyone's name. Love then mocks Amis for having such a type. Jail explains that Luna is spreading rumors that isn't even true. He recounts how Luna mocked his parents, so there's no way he'll be in love with someone like that. He expounds on how he doesn't care about her. Love fidgets and blushes while saying that Unis can like whoever he wants. Between them, Eurus looks happy with the development. OTP. I tell you, Habake suddenly coughs blood and Jiu asks if he's alright. Habake admits he's not at his best but would appreciate some help and healing. Hundis and Love put on their evil faces as they discuss how having Habake's death can give them loot and they will share it equally. They're perfect for each other. Habake asks Jiu if he's sure, since one of Habake's mirrors is still with Jiu. If Habake disappears, the mirror will also disappear. With this realization, Jiu taps Habake on the shoulder and says he'll heal him. Habake justifies that Jiu is a selfish jerk. Love asks how Jiu plans to heal Habake because she didn't bring any HP potions. Jiu reassures Love that it's okay. With a flash, Jiu uses his unique attribute Master Novice and activates the soul of the cleric. He then confidently uses the skill, Heal. Habake does get healed. The only problem is that the HP recovers only amounts to plus 1 HP per heal. Habake frowns at Jiu and asks if Jiu is really using heal because he is barely recovering any HP. Jiu scratches his head and says he probably should have added some stats to his intelligence. Ra, you suck as a cleric. Kidding aside, Jiu asks what Habake will do with his left arm. While recovering HP can remove scars, severely injured body parts can only recover by loading in or out. Habake reminds Jiu that this only works for regular players. Monsters like him have to respond to recover their body. Jiu then swears to set him off painlessly. Habake stops him and explains further that he is a unique boss. And if he dies, he won't be able to respond. Jiu frowns and asks what kind of boss monster doesn't respawn after dying. This only means that the game sucks. Throughout the game, there are only a few unique bosses. Not taking them down wouldn't affect the gameplay. One of the unique bosses is Eurus, which explains why Eurus begged for his life in Chapter 2. When Habake says that another unique boss is Luna, G was surprised as he recalls the first time he met her. Inside the GM zone, Budman rushes toward Luna to kill her. Despite multiple attacks, Luna doesn't seem to receive any damage. She claims that a human can never kill a goddess, and Budman simultaneously says this line with her. He laughs at how cringe Luna's impressive lines are and mocks her. As an employee of Chrono Life for a long time, he claims to know what Luna's skill is. She might have duped Jiu into thinking his attacks didn't work on a goddess like her. The unique skill of the goddess of life is the creation of life, and every time she dies, she uses her unique skill to recreate herself. Oh, it's a cheat. Buttman rushes and kills Luna, and Luna uses her skill, the creation of life, to recreate herself. Buttman explains how OP her skill is and reveals how this skill got the most opposing votes in its planning stage. He continues to talk, saying how Luna used her skill on Hurricane. Luna slashes Buttman in half, expressing her distaste for how chatty he is when this won't change anything. She claims that it is a fact that he can't kill her. With her slash, Buttman takes to light and finally making her attack on her own. The winged staff that Luna holds transforms into a heart-shaped version, and this surprises her. Buttman reappears in front of her without any damage. He then reveals why he specifically brought her to that space. Luna transforms from her goddess of life form into her light pink hair form. She won't be able to use her creation of life skill. Buttman compliments and mocks her at the same time and directly stabs her. He reveals how Habake's master will show up after he kills her. And Buttman declares that Luna is no more. In real life, manager someone so aka Buttman is enjoying his drinks with another guy wearing sunglasses. The other guy compliments someone for his hard work and asks how the project progresses. And we've got the classic thug-like character. Someone retells how Habake refused to give information and got rid of Luna, but someone admits he couldn't kill her. This worries the Shades guy, but someone says that it's okay, since there are other ways to meet Habake's master. Habake's master is one of the vital boss monsters for Chrono Life's main storyline. Habake's master is the great merchant, Bride of Sloth. Someone explains how Chrono Life is all about freedom, meaning the boss monster can become a merchant if it wants to. The Shades Guide expresses how Sloth is similar to Yuriken's veracity. Someone once again musters up his patience explaining how they are themed after the 7 deadly sins. In Chrono Life, there's Eurus of Pride, Yuriken of Veracity, Bride of Sloth, and Luna of Lust. They're boss monsters. But this doesn't mean they're NPCs. Shade's guy questions if they were users who got upgraded. Someone says that the freedom of choice that Chrono Life offers is beyond Shade's guy's imagination. It lets boss monsters become merchants, and regular users can be boss monsters if desired. We need this kind of game in real life. Back in the game, Jiu asks Habake to answer whether Roach is a user or an NPC. Habake claims he doesn't know, but Buttman, the admin, might know. This only gives Jiu more reason to kick Buttman's ass. Lud expresses how she still doesn't get why Buttman wants to meet Great Merchant Riot if the goal is to make money. Buttman can quickly sell items in the auction, and his attack on the Wretched Bandits Guild doesn't make sense. Habake says that he might have an idea. He starts speaking of the fragments of god or mythical items when Home appears out of nowhere. Home's figure has become more feminine since the story revealed her gender. She removes her mask and tells everyone to accompany her because she found Buttman's hideout. Everyone goes and they reach a wooden cabin. Love asks if this is really the hideout because it looks too dull. Hong shows her use of the appraisal skill and how the wooden cabin hideout is owned by Buttman. There's no sign of Buttman in the area, and Home expresses how unfortunate they can't see inside. In the middle of her sentence, a crash occurs as Jiu hits the wall, which shocks Home. Not us. Typical undies. They all head inside, immediately seeing a mess of treasure and items. Love asks if these are all cloned, but Hong contradicts her, explaining that all these items are not cloned, and everything is mythical. Looking at it, it might cost 5 billion won. Hong confirms that some mythical items here were pilfered from their guild, proving that what Buttman was after all along are mythical items. If Buttman did what Jiu did on a large scale, you would immediately get caught by the head office. I can already see it. Buttman spending his time locked up. Hong explains that a particular buyer in Chrono Life can always purchase mythical items. Jiu finally pieces all the puzzles together as he asks if that person is none other than Habake's master, the Great Merchant Riot. Habake confirms this and says this was also his guess regarding Buttman. Hong further explains how Buttman's actions won't be caught by the head office because selling items to the Great Merchant Riot wouldn't affect the public market. Hong concludes that taking and reporting a screenshot to customer support will get Buttman caught. She removes her mask and starts thanking everyone for solving the case with her. G was picking on his nose again and makes an ugly face, saying things aren't over until he says it. Writing to a manager won't cut it for him. He plans to teach Buttman a lesson. In the streets in the middle of a village, Jiu was wearing Hong's mask when he meets an irritated Buttman. Love is with Jiu, carrying a big bag. Love looks at Buttman with disbelief. She didn't think on these plans to make Buttman appear would work. Even in the middle of the village, Buttman mocks Jiu for his ridiculous get-up. Jiu says he borrowed it from Hong. Hong, without her mask, and her guild members are over the roofs watching them. Like Love, she didn't think that Undi's plans would work. Yes, she referred to him as Undies. Here's a flashback of what happened. Jiu told him to take all the items and even borrowed Hong's mask. This makes him receive a kick from a jealous Love. When Buttman gets to his hideout, he sees the broken wall and immediately runs inside. The place was wiped clean of his cash cow, and a letter from Undies was in place. By holding on to Buttman's items, Undies makes him meet them in the central square in Front Village. Now, back to the present, with no choice. Buttman appears in a meeting place. Buttman pulls out his plus 99 blade of enforcement, and Undies tells him not to get any closer. Undies directs Captain Love to take one out, and Captain Love hands over the dagger of the fire dragon, which is a mythical rake. He then threatens Buttman that if he gets any closer, he'll sell the item to the NPC shop. Lol, Jiu's brutal. Worried senseless, Buttman screams that the dagger costs 200 million won, or $150,000, and selling it to the NPC when only getting 300 gold. Sweating, Buttman asks what Undies want. Jiu laughs menacingly, licking the dagger of the fire dragon, and says that he just wants to screw him over. Undies kept on making Buttman mad. Buttman goes well with Undies. Extremely mad, Buttman poofs from where he stands and moves behind Jiu. He then uses the GM zone warp. It causes a flash that momentarily blinds everyone. Love calls for Undies and sees that he and Buttman are gone. In the GM zone, Jiu and Buttman are fighting. Buttman mocks and curses Jiu and swears to slice him up. Jiu receives a big hit, splitting Holmes' mask into two. Jiu scolds Buttman for cursing the game's user. Buttman expresses his distaste for users like Jiu, who don't live in reality and get obsessed with gaming. They continue to fight, even as they speak. Ji-Yu asked Buttman what made him all salty, and if this is what they call a midlife crisis. This enrages Buttman more, making him commit multiple attacks on Ji-Yu. Ji-Yu doesn't see any of the attacks coming, while Buttman keeps talking about how all users are the same and how people like him get blamed for their efforts. And here is another flashback. Buttman starts his story 7 years ago when he was still naive. He was just a developer in the Chrono Life main office with pure intentions. Ji-Yu cuts him off, saying he doesn't care about his origin story. Ji smashes Buttman in the face with his wooden stick. Undies wouldn't let a criminal like him get his redemption arc, meaning no flashback for him. Thank God. A big resounding crash resounds in the GM zone. But this doesn't kill Buttman because he also has the healing factor skill. This shocks Ji-Yu, and he gets slashed again. It only started making sense when Ji-Yu thought of Buttman as an admin. Buttman starts using his other hidden skills. Activating his strength stat hidden skill, Soul of the Giant. Buttman receives the strength of the giants. He screams as he absorbs the power with flashing lights. Ji-Yu comments on the flashy effects of the skill, and how Healing Factor doesn't have anything cool like this. Healing Factor has disgusting and creepy effects. Buttman exudes an aura like a character from the Morum genre. With the Soul of the Giant activated, his damage and attack range increased by 1000%. Literally OP. With the slash of Buttman's sword, he causes a big explosion. Healing Factor activates and Ji-Yu's body regenerates. He comments on how OP the skill is and how he wants it for himself. Our MC is always true to himself with his greed. His comment makes Buttman pause, and Ji-Yu takes advantage of it. Ji-Yu stabs a tentacle at Buttman and uses Voracity, claiming you will absorb all his stats to learn the skill. Buttman escapes by activating his agility stat hidden skill, Speed of Light. This lets him teleport to any location within his field of vision at the speed of light. He then continuously attacks Ji-Yu. Ji-Yu curses, seeing that it is one of those skills. Buttman boasts how numbers decide the battle's outcome. In his case, all of his stats are at 99,999. Jeez, that's just unfair. Lol. He claims that no matter what Undies do, he'll lose. Then he insults Undies' skills in controlling his wooden stick, and how he's only a loser who got lucky with a good item. Ji-Yu gets angry, saying how Buttman's the last person he wants to hear that from since he's a criminal with an admin account. Buttman then teases Undies into becoming an admin himself if he's jealous. This only irritates Ji-Yu more that he headbutts Buttman's face. The attack shocks Buttman. Knowing that Undies' agility sucks, he's surprised at how fast Undies is. Ji-Yu was lying face down because of his attack. Hearing Buttman, Ji-Yu raises his head and ridicules Buttman by saying it is his good control skill. It's incredible how he can still mock Buttman despite being on the losing end. Irritated, Buttman again uses Speed of Light, and says that whatever skill Undies used, he still couldn't keep up with his speed. Ji-Yu stands up and says it wasn't a skill. He used the system to his advantage. Ji-Yu lifts his wooden stick and twirls. This movement confuses Buttman. Ji-Yu then turns off the adjust recoil option and swings his wooden stick. His attack makes a big explosion, and he immediately dashes toward Buttman and hits him in the face with his stick. Ji-Yu got a clean hit in. With a crash, Ji-Yu comments on how smart his move is. Fine, you deserve your self-praise. He then asked Buttman how it feels to get hit by an attack that can crush planets. Buttman only laughs at Ji-Yu, saying that tricks to overcome his mediocre controls can't defeat him. Ji-Yu admits that there's no way he can catch up at Buttman's speed of light. Tired of it, Ji-Yu claims that it's time to finish this. Buttman just kept insulting Ji-Yu, saying there's no way Undies can defeat an admin like him. Ji-Yu ignores his words and says that he can. Ji-Yu raises his right hand, and it starts glowing purple. He then says goodbye to Buttman. And cliffhanger. We'll get back to them later. In the front village, Love sits on a bench with a bag of mythical items beside her. She wonders how Undies plan to deal with Buttman. Hong is standing by the bench with an extra mask on. Hong says she didn't hear the details but thought he would have told his girlfriend. Love says he didn't as she blushes thinking of the word girlfriend. She tells Hong that all he told her is his plan to provoke Buttman to take him to the GM zone. Hong then wonders why Undies pushed back the encounter to a whole day. She thinks this move is related to how Ji-Yu will defeat Buttman. And we're back. In the GM zone, Ji-Yu's hand is glowing purple and starts whirring, creating a big flash of purple light. Buttman looks at the confident Undies, wondering if he really has something to defeat him. Ji-Yu activated his skill summoning, a basic summoner skill. Buttman just laughs because it is literally just a basic summoner skill. Buttman admits that he got scared for a second there. then gives Ji-woo a lecture that the skill is useless if you don't have a high charisma and intelligence stat. At best, he can only summon a trash mob. A shadow of a man slowly appears in the summoning circle. Buttman's laughing face changes into shock when the summoned creature finally appears. With his signature tobacco and scar, the summon is completed, and President Deok-bae Choi appears. Lo, in your face, buddy. This gives Buttman the biggest shock of his life. Ju last-hearted Buttman's stunned figure, saying how bringing Chrono Light's boss into the game paid off. In flashback, the night before, Shades Guy asks manager someone, aka Buttman, to spend more time with him. Still, someone rejects him, saying he needs to finish some calculations. Shades Guy praises him, and the two bid farewell to one another. Shades Guy is walking with a girl by his side when they are blocked by men in suits and CEO Choi. In a dark alley, Shades Guy is beaten up, and he reveals all of someone's plans to make money and flee the country. Learning all this, Deok-bae Choi commands his men to bury Shades Guy. The CEO walked away from the scene and approached Ji-woo, who was on the lookout while they threatened Shades Guy. In his head, Ji-woo was questioning them if they are the mafia. Yep, you should watch out yourself, Ji-woo. The CEO jokes with Ji-woo, telling him he was ready to get rid of him when he called, thinking it's a waste of his time. CEO Choi discloses how Buttman will be fired and sued for his actions. Then, Ji-woo asks if Mr. Choi has the time in the evening the next day, and tells him to plan to teach Buttman a lesson. Back to the present. Buttman shakes with shock when he sees his boss in the game. He immediately yells look out, but the system announces that he can't do so well in battle. Cursing, Buttman racks his brain for a solution and remembers. He closes the GM zone. No, you don't. Panicked, Ji-woo tells the CEO that Buttman is getting away. Then Deok-bae Choi opens the boss zone. Unlike the red surrounding of the GM zone, the boss zone is covered in green. With no way out, Buttman clenches his sword and dashes toward the president. Buttman makes contact with his sword, but nothing happens. Yeah, he's the real god of Chrono Life. Angered, CEO Choi removes his sunglasses and declares how Buttman is beneath the mud. Deok-bae Choi's status window appears, and his level and stats are infinite. OP and immortal. The boss clenches his fist to attack Buttman. He announces that someone is fired. Buttman can only close his eyes, clench his teeth, and curse as he receives his boss punch in the face. Boss Deok-bae Choi annihilates Buttman with one punch, shattering the healing factor skill. Ji-woo can only quiver on the sides, thinking the old man can't be toyed with. Thus, the end of the Buttman fiasco. Finally, all mythical items will return to the original owners. No, Ji-woo didn't pocket those. On the same day, Buttman was fired in real life with a huge beating from the president. Of course, Buttman tried to sue the president for assault, but he just dug a hole for himself. Buttman kind of used to irritate CEO Choi, but the company's legal team just sued him for other things, regardless of the truth. And with that, Buttman has to pay the company for damage, and he got exiled from the gaming world when word spread. Everything is returning to normal, and Ji-woo logs out of Chrono Life. Then he regrets one thing: he never got to ask if Roach is a user or an NPC. He asks this to himself when he finally sees a woman with long, straight black hair sitting on his own sofa. Wait, what? Ji-woo's mouth hangs open, seeing her in his house. He looks closely, and the woman greets him. Of course, while calling Ji-woo Noob. Weird as it may seem, Luna is in Ji-woo's house, and they are eating instant noodles. Ji-woo wonders what is happening but lets it go, since his question is answered. With Luna in his house, she's definitely not an NPC. Luna caught Ji-woo staring, making Ji-woo blush. Stop blushing, you gimwit. She then asks if she is that pretty. Ji-woo firmly denies it, telling her to shut up and eat. Ji-woo blushes as he eats. Then he starts remembering Luna's insults. Refusing to fall for her innocent acts, Ji-woo asks who she is and how she knows his house and door passcode. Luna stands up and stretches. She tells Ji-woo to ask away, and she will answer everything. Ji starts by asking about Luna's natural hair color, whether the real one is light pink or black. Luna says she likes Ji-woo for remembering the small details. Luna answers the question with black. Ji-woo doesn't remember a thing, and Luna lets it go. She suddenly asks Ji-woo if he prefers her light pink hair. Does her hair color really matter? Ji-woo ignores her by asking the next question. He confirms if Luna is a unique boss, and if her character got deleted when she got killed by Buttman. Luna answers that she did die, But the character wasn't deleted because she died in a human state. Attacking an admin in a GM zone can make you lose your divine power. This worked out in her favor because her character would be deleted if she died as a unique boss. Jiu expresses that it was a shame. A big shame. Jiu then asks if Luna will continue slashing other users to kill 1,000 players and advance to the Goddess of Life class. Luna explains that that is not all. Killing 1,000 players is only one of the requirements, and the others are actually harder to accomplish. She also adds that she can freely change between human and goddess mode. Jiu likes the detailed answer, but he says she never answered the real first question. Jiu once again asks who she is exactly. He says how she shows up in a game is understandable, but having her in his house in real life crosses the line. He won't hesitate to call the police on her. Luna claims that many people are getting in her way in the game. She then proposes to Jiu, asking Jiu to become her man. You shouldn't have insulted his parents. This proposition causes Jiu to enter a loading state. Finally getting into his head what Luna said, he looks at her in askance. The doorbell rings and Jiu flinches. Luna wonders who it would be at this hour, while Jiu thinks it is perfect timing. Outside, Serene presses the doorbell and calls for undies. Serene wants to talk to him and asks him to open up. Jiu looks at Luna and thinks of what he should do. Brah, don't open the door. There'll be a catfight. Serene enters the house and comments on how clean it is. After some small talk, Jiu asks why Captain came at this hour. Serene asks what time Jiu was logging in, and Jiu answers that it'll probably be after breakfast, and that he has no plans since it's the weekend. Serene says she has no kids and asks Jiu to boost her, setting up a date. While another woman's there, as they chat, Luna hides while holding on to her share of ramen. NTR vibes. Done with the talk, Serene gives her number to Jiu and tells him to call her. As she leaves, she threatens Jiu not to ignore her messages. Jiu wonders what this is all about. Outside, Serene blushes while thinking about how she finally got Undi's number. Our innocent Serene, inside Jiu's place, expresses how tiring it was to have these happening all at once. Luna then asks why Jiu told her to hide. Irritated, Jiu tells her to just get out. And Luna happily claims that she'll be staying over, saying that she was kidding. She asks for Jiu's answer to her proposal. Jiu then scolds her for not answering his question about who she is. Luna just laughs at him. She wants to remain mysterious. Finally, she clarifies her ambiguous wording and asks him to join her party. In Krona life, Habek kneels on one knee as he greets his master. The great merchant, Rite of Sloth, asks Mirror King Habek what happened to his left arm. Habek answers that his incompetence led him to this state. The great merchant raises his hand, and with a flash, Habek's left arm regenerates, and it's not the disgusting kind. Habek looks at it and says he has gained another scar. The great merchant then asks who did this to him, and if it is the warrior from before. Habek explains that the said warrior actually saved him. If his master meets him, he'll definitely like undies. Habek then says he's a perfect candidate to become one of the 7 deadly sins. More of a BAM than in Meliodas, Paradise Silver Beach is a good farming area for users around level 30. This area is popular for those who are out of the beginning stages. The beach is filled with slimes, monsters that can melt anything that it touches. The only problem is the level 85 field boss monster, the giant octopus kraken. Aside for its big size, the shell is so hard, and its tentacles let it move freely between land and sea. And at this moment, Undy smacks the kraken in the face using strike without killing. The kraken is left with 1 bar HP, and Undy's calls for Captain Love. Love then jumps and uses Fallen Dragon Strike on the kraken's eye, killing it. They're both OP at this point. Jiu asks Captain Love about her XP, but she says she didn't get a single XP point. Eurus explains this is because of their vast level gap. The lower level user will get any XP from boosting. Jiu asks about Love's skill, asking if it's always been strong. Love says it's because of the weapon he gave her. Thinking about it, Jiu says that Love can farm even without his help. Love thinks about it and concludes that she won't be with Undies if that happens. Love says she would instead get boosted since it's easier for her. Jiu's so slow, I'm crying. As they chat, Luna looks at the two from the air. She remembers how Jiu rejected her last night, saying that he wouldn't want to get stabbed in the back again. He also says he's at Captain Love's party, so dreading her will get him beaten by Serene in real life. She deserves it. Luna continues watching them while voicing her jealousy and wanting to ruin them. Then she turns her back and decides to let them go. She says that Undies will still end up killing Love and he will be Luna's man. And this will be for the sake of ending criminal life. Eurus is angry. saying how boosting won't work. And no matter which map they go to, it won't work. Jiu asks Eurus what they should do. Love sees Undies talking to himself and asks him about it. Jiu asks if Love can't see the silly dragon while poking at Eurus' cheeks. Love looks around, not seeing anything. Took her long enough to ask Jiu about it. Eurus reminds Jiu that no one can see him but his master. Then Eurus reveals that if Jiu shares some of his magic power with him, he can manifest in the real world. Jiu says he barely has any magic power, but Eurus says it should be enough. Jiu agrees to it. They should have done this from the start. Producing a purple flash, Eurus' soul manifests into reality. The purple light condenses in one huge being, and Eurus pops out, making his first appearance in front of Love. Love's heart throbs, and her nose bleeds because of cuteness overload. She asks Undies to let her pet him. Eurus sighs and speaks with his original form's visual, saying how a human dares to touch him, asking her if she doesn't fear death. Ignoring Eurus, Undies tells Captain Love to pet Eurus all she wants, since it doesn't hurt him. Love then grabs Eurus and rubs her face on him. I want to rub my face on him as well. As Love squeezes Eurus, Habake and his griffin appear. He tells them he is in a pinch, and you rush to find them there. Jiu asks how Habake found them. Habake reveals that it is one of his mirror skills. The seventh mirror, the mirror of detection, can lead to the location of someone he has met. Practical use of equipment. Habake says it's no time to chat, and he is coming in. Who's he? Jiu then expresses his amazement at how Habake got his arm back, cutting Habake off. He asks if Habake just stitched it back. Helpless. Habake admits it was his master to put it back together. Jiu congratulates Habake, and Habake tries to bring the previous topic back. The earth suddenly shakes, and Habake can only accept their fate. Habake announces that he is here. He pertains to Habake's eternal master, and the great ruler of the throne, Ride of Sloth. The great merchant arrives with a legion of armed angels. Jiu thinks about how he believes Sloth would take a human form. He didn't expect him to be so big. I don't think he's really that big. Habake flies riding Griffin. He greets his master, apologizing for not relaying the details to Jiu. The great merchant says it doesn't matter, and I hope to speak to him himself. Habake hesitantly agrees. With great impact, the throne falls to the ground. From the throne, a voice greets Jiu, telling him how much he had heard about him from Habake. As the cloud of dust dissipates, Jiu finally sees the riot of Sloth. Commercial break. This man well loves cliffhangers. In a different area, the goddess of life walks towards a throne. A skeleton sits on the throne, named the strongest warrior of his time. This corpse belongs to Yufa, the first brave warrior, and he's been dead for more than hundreds of years. Luna refers to this as the trope legendary warrior. A weird sounds were coming from the corpse, and a crest on his forehead flashed. Unsurprised, Luna raises her staff and insults whoever wrote the game's story, then says that this is the charm of Chrono Life. With a wire and a flash, Luna charges. Back to our main program. Riot, the leader of the strongest angel army, is often called the Great Merchant. He sits on a colossal throne made of 100% pure gold, and he is known for his grand appearance and opulence, a cute, midget half-naked angel. His appearance made Jiu and Love open their mouths and look closely. While hanging in Love's arms, Eurus comments on how overwhelming Riot's charisma is, seriously. Riot floats towards Jiu, introduces himself, and asks Jiu if he is the warrior Habake keeps talking about. Jiu hesitantly affirms as he thinks about how this feels like he's being threatened by an elementary student. It's hard to be afraid of something so small and cute. Riot sighs and insults Jiu. Jiu then gets kicked in the face before he can even talk back. Riot spins and gives him another kick in the face. Habake tries to stop Riot by saying that Jiu was the one who's going to help them. Riot simply tells Habake to shut up, reprimanding Habake for being foolish and thinking their kind can bomb the humans. Jiu recovers and says that the kid is right. Users can't be actual friends with monsters. He then asks Riot for a fight because of Riot's kick. Riot corrects him, saying that it was actually Jiu who made the first hit when he killed Eurus of Pride. They continued fighting as they talked. Exceptional multitasking skills. Really? Riot throws a big rock at Jiu's way, but Jiu deflects it with a swing as he asks what Riot means. Riot says that Eurus is the official strongest monster of Chrono Life. When Jiu took Eurus down and put everything out of order. Then there's the Hurricane of Veracity. Love tries to reason with Riot, but Riot scolds her with a glare, causing her to fall on her butt, shivering. Eurus looks at Love and looks at Riot. Riot kept talking about how Eurus' death brought Hurricane into existence, and they are at the core of it. Nonetheless, all these problems will soon be exterminated and done by the strongest human in the history of criminal life, Yufa. And his first brave warrior will soon be revived. Okay, so Yufa is Jiu's new foe. As Ride speaks of this, Luna is right where the corpse of Yufa sits, with the crest flashing in the skull's head, his eyes and whole body followed. Luna smiles and says it is not yet time for him to wake up, so she shares her power with him. As Luna transfers her power to the corpse, it gains flesh and armor. The corpse then stands up, and of course, she has to be responsible for this guy's awakening. Back in Paradise Silver Beach, Jiu asks who Yufa is and why you should even care about it. He says that if Yufa is a warrior, he'll be siding with the humans, so he doesn't see the big deal. Ride sighs at Jiu's foolishness and says that Yufa won't be reviving as a human. He'll wake as one of the 7 deadly sins, and he'll kill the humans who betrayed him. Back wherever Luma is, an enormous magic crest flashes on the ground. A rock on the ground wriggles and the ground cracks as a skeleton hand reaches up. With a scream, it pulls itself up to the land, and the land was filled with the undead. Luna starts talking by herself. Crazy, she tells how Yufa, the strongest human chrono life, trusted and loved humans more than anyone during his life. But before he died, he hated them more than anyone. She comments on how childish the story is. With his skeleton dragon and a legion of skeletons, Yufa, the first brave warrior, revives, and he is now Yufa of Rage. The continent of Chrono was a peaceful place until the demons came. They wreaked havoc on the continent, and during this time, a warrior and his party shed a light of hope. And that warrior is Yufa. Riot tells the history with seriousness while Jiu blankly looks at him. Jiu repeatedly says skip dialogue that Riot asks what he was up to. Jiu admits to using the skip button since he skips all story dialogue in the game. I do that too. GLDR, the good warrior became evil and has been revived. Jiu says he didn't take all those hits for a boring story dialogue. Jiu boasts that he smacked Yuras with one hit, and cowering in fear for a warrior doesn't cut it. Once again, Riot expresses how foolish Jiu is. He lectures Jiu that you should know what kind of havoc another human being can do. Riot boldly states that humans will be raided by Yufa. With this, Riot turns to leave. Jiu asks where Riot is going, telling him they should continue their fight. Riot conveys his boredom, and his curiosity about Jiu only wastes his time. Yufa is the only warrior that Riot acknowledges, and Jiu won't be able to defeat the first warrior. We'll probably have a backstory of Riot with Yufa in the future. Jiu raises his weapon, and says he appreciates the heads up, but letting him go after Riot kicked him won't cut it. Habake suddenly appears behind Jiu and grabs his arm, telling him to stop. Jiu commands Habake to let him go, but Habake keeps on clinging. He tells Jiu to calm down. Jiu, being petty, says that the kick from before still hurts. Habake says he is all healed up and decides to tell Jiu about the items he sold. This makes Jiu pause, and Habake reveals that the person who bought all 15 billion won $11 million worth of items is his master, Riot. I'm calling him Daddy. Cutting back to where Luna is, the skeleton dragon looms over Yufa, Luna, and the legion of skeletons. Yufa learns from Luna that the game's story is a complete mess and that she shares her powers with him so that he doesn't lack energy. Yufa thanks her and promises to compensate her as he leaves. Luna asks where he is headed, and Yufa says she already knows where. The skeleton dragon roars and flies in the air with another cry. All the skeletons run. Yufa looks back and tells how he has watched the world. Now it's time for him to destroy it. With a flash of teleport, Yufa disappears. He's out for revenge. Luna smiles and says she has done what she was told, but is unsure if this is right. Her voice asks her if she regrets it, and she says that she had no problem when she dealt with Uriken before. Luna says it was different with Uriken because he was only an afterthought compared to the main story. The voice tells her to forget it and just enjoy the show. The voice belongs to the long-haired blonde dude. God floats in space as he watches over the world, saying they could just sit back and watch the world get cleansed. Does that mean Luna has no choice in this matter? In Paradise Silver Beach, Jiu looks at Riot in disbelief. Riot confirms that he bought it for precisely 15,303,890,000 gold and made a 37 billion gold profit when he sold it within the month. Jiu stares and starts calling him Sir Riot. He'll be more amicable if you call him boss. Jiu holds on to Riot's hand, apologizes, and asks Riot to teach him his great merchant ways. Riot gives him a look and tells him that he really has no pride. Jiu has zero pride, but his greed is maxed out. The ground suddenly shakes, and Riot declares that the world's end is here. They see the skeleton flying up in the air. War broke out. The front village is burning, and skeletons are hacking into every human they meet. Many players died before the system announced the Chrono Life main quest to protect the world from Yufa, the warrior of rage. With no time to look at the quest details, the users got surrounded by a mob of skeletons. Innocent players are dying everywhere again. The staff lights up, and Flame Hurricane is cast. The skill swirls the mob in flames. The caster was Abracadabra, the most powerful mage of the royal family and leader of the Holy Land Guild. They were able to respond to the emergency this time, but it was not enough because they weren't ready for the destruction. Their levels and items are not strong enough to face this boss who came out years earlier than intended. It's our MC's fault. A boom resounds in Warrior Hill as Yufa arrives. He looks at the graves of his friends and remembers each of them. With a flash, Yufa raises his hand and revives his comrades. The ground rumbles and skeletons come up from it. The skeletons were a level 999 mage, a level 999 cleric, and a level 999 bard. With a level 999 warrior Yufa, the warrior party is now complete, and they aim to end the unfinished story. Would you be able to defeat them all? What transpired raises the main quest's difficulty to calamity. Our disgusting MC is once again digging in his nose for dirt as he boasts how you can easily smash the enemy's face with one swing. Looking at where the skeleton dragon is headed, Jiu thinks of how to use one of his constant-ever-breaking attacks again. Right reminds Jiu that this kind of attack will also kill the other users. With the Undead Legion, physical attacks won't work unless it's of the holy element. If Jiu plans to use his planet-shattering attack instead, it won't work, since Yufa, and his minions will still be alive once the servers are up. Riot asserts that a war can't be fought alone. Unless Jiu gets possessed by Saitama or comes up with another insane idea. Jiu only smiles and says it'll be a challenge, so he might as well try. Declaring wartime, Jiu raises his plus 99 reinforced wooden stick, turns off the recoil, and swings the wooden stick down. This causes a blast, and Jiu uses it to bounce and fly in the sky. Love asks where Undies is going, while Habe comments on his recklessness. Riot looks at the disappearing Jiu and admits that he at least has determination. The front village is burning amidst it. Jiu's golden statue is still standing, while all the users are lying on the ground. The skeleton dragon hovers above the village while the skeleton soldiers litter the grounds. In real life, players are cursing the game as they log out. Respawning is useless because they'll just immediately die. Front village is supposed to be a safe zone, but it was attacked again. A guy user says that he'll probably just quit. Real life Hong hears this and says that the game is more fun this way. The dude blushes when he sees her, saying she's probably right. The guy asks Hong to play together, but Hong immediately rejects him. Insta-kill. It was then that Chroma Life posted an announcement that shocked everyone. The staff complains to CEO Diop Choi, saying that users won't be able to clear the main quest with their current levels and items. He states that they should intervene as developers. The CEO eats as he lectures his staff about not interfering with the user's experience. The staff questions the CEO's decision because the announcement clearly states that Chrono Light's main quest has begun. The end will be determined by the user's ability to defeat Yufa. Back in Front Village, the skeletons roam as a loud crash falls. Jiu appears from the cloud of smoke, saying he needs to work on his landing. Jiu sees the skeletons around him and is glad he landed in the right place. The skeletons start attacking Jiu, and Jiu just smacks them. The skeletons simultaneously attacked him, and Jiu could not avoid the attacks due to his low agility stat. Unaffected by the attacks from the skeletons, Jiu bonks the skeletons in the head. Finding the task tedious, Jiu opens his skill window. The skeleton slashes him from the back, but Jiu ignores it, making the skeleton tired. Jiu looks at his skills and reads the Veracity hidden skill. Laughing crazily, Jiu confuses the skeletons. Jiu activates Veracity and declares it's showtime. Crazy time activated. The tentacle from his mouth swirls and stabs the skeleton. This causes the skeleton to disappear, and he absorbs the levels and stats. Jiu gleefully states that it was full of calcium, and his stats increased. He receives double the stats because he has already reached the maximum gain level. Seeing his stats go up, he starts talking to himself. As he does so, the skeletons around him become nervous, saying that he can't be a picky eater. He looks at the skeletons with evil intentions. Work smart. Jiu declares it's feeding time, making the skeletons shiver, turn their back, and run for it. Skeletons don't have rationality. All they have is their instinct, which tells them to run out of fear. Jiu makes a scary face with the tentacle coming out of his mouth. The tentacle chases and stabs a running skeleton. It was a repeating cycle of stab, suck, and poof. The approximate number of 2,000 skeleton warriors that terrified most users all turned to dust. With the skeleton warriors gone, the strongest undead monster, the skeleton dragon, appears. This skeleton dragon may be nothing compared to Eurus, but it now reigns as the king of the dragons. This information doesn't really matter to our MC because it is so easy for him to stab, suck, and poof. Absorbing the skeleton dragon's levels and stats, Jiu finally maxes out his status to 99,999 each. Eurus screams delight and praises Jiu, claiming that even Buttman can't touch him anymore. Jiu tells Eurus to not compare him to trash, OP in a flash. The person appears behind him, and Jiu turns, thinking it's another meal. It was the goddess of life, and Jiu deflated, seeing that it was just Roach. Luna flashes as she turns off her goddess mode. She turns to her light pink-haired character, and says she doesn't want others to watch this moment. Jiu asks what she means and gets shocked. Luna kisses Jiu on the lips and clings to him. What the? This moment shocks not only Jiu, but also Eurus. Eurus looks at them with disdain. We're team love. Jiu was confused as Luna clings to him with a knee between his legs. She surprised Jiu with a kiss. It would have been better if it was love. Luna pulls back, and Jiu blushes like a schoolgirl as he hides his lips behind an arm. He is speechless and stutters that this was his first kiss. It startles Luna, then she smiles. She claims that it was an accident and that she slipped. Yeah, right, still blushing. Jiu says it was no accident because she even grabbed his neck. Luna keeps on smiling as she points out how Jiu remembers every detail. To make it worse, she reminds him that his agility stat is already at 99,999 and it would have been easy for him to dodge. This only darkens Jiu's blush. Jiu tries to rebut, but Luna reveals it was also her first kiss. Oh, why does it have to be that special type of kiss? Luna advances to Jiu while Jiu backs off and asks why she did it. Luna persists that she slipped, then changes the subject by saying she has an item for him. She reaches inside her sleeve and pulls out a golden wear jewel. It was a mythical rank item, but the other details are not indicated. Luna explains that her having this item and her giving it to him shouldn't be seen by anyone. It is the reason why she turned off the goddess mode. Jiu hesitantly takes it. Unable to let it go, Jiu asks Luna again why she kissed him. Of course, Luna commits to her I-slipped explanation. Why? Just why? Luna goes back to explaining that the item she gave him is precious and will surely help him. Love calls unease and asks why he has run off. She runs up to him and pauses when she sees a girl beside him. She looks at the distance between the two and activates her girl's senses. Unease apologizes to Captain Love and says that he just got too excited that he took off. Love walks towards them and then pinches Jiu's cape as she asks for an introduction with the other person. Jiu says that they've met before. Luna frowns at Love's hand and Jiu's cape. With a sigh, she turns on goddess mode. Love is shocked and stammers where she sees the goddess of life. It's a girl fight. Luna asks if Love now recognizes her and curses at her. And Love remembers Luna from the time she got killed by Hurricane. Ignoring Love, Luna calls Jiu a noob and asks if he will fight Yufa. She warns him it won't be easy because she has shared her energy with Yufa, making him level 999. And at that moment, Yufa would be at the center of the demon world, the castle of the demon king. Her reviving Yufa and her advising Jiu. She's confusing. The warrior party walks inside the castle of the demon king. The white sword is stabbed to the ground inside the castle, with a cloaked figure floating beside it. The party meets Death, the right hand of the demon king. Death greets Yufa, the person who killed the demon king. Death asks what Yufa is after. Yufa tells Death not to act like he doesn't know as he approaches the sword stabbed on the ground. Yufa voices out that he is there to claim what was his, the blade of the brave warrior. This mythical rank weapon is the strongest blade in all of the land. Jiu's stick is still eagle rank. Death asks Yufa if he is sure, because the energy of the demon king is sealed within the sword. Yufa confirms as he grabs his blade. The green aura whooshes as the system announces a quest completion. With this, Yufa advances to a hidden class. The white sword changes to black, and Yufa pulls the sword from the ground. Death happily announces the birth of a new demon king. Excalibur revives. Except he's a demon king. Yufa receives the special abilities of the demon king class, and all of his stats are now multiplied by 10. He also unlocks the hidden skill, the demon king's almighty power, which lets him dominate the demon race. As the new demon king, Yufa commands Death to gather all demon soldiers and eliminate the human world. With a large smile, Death complies. Death changes his form, goes to the top of the Demon King castle, and gets bigger. Yufa commands his soldiers to charge, and Death opens his mouth. Death activates the dimensional teleportation portal, leading to the dimension of the human world. Love looks up at the sky while grabbing Jiyu's arm. Jiyu sees Captain Love's expression and looks up as well. Up in the sky, the big open-mouthed face of Death can be seen, and demons flew out of the portal, the start of Chrono Life Apocalypse. Riot sighs as he asks if this is the scale of rage that Yufa feels for humans. Unfazed, Jiyu uses Swing Up, making a loud boom. He celebrates too early but stops short when the demons are still alive. Lune explains that demons have formidable strength and infinite magic in their horns. With Yufa as the new Demon King, the demons have gained immortality. This makes these demons the most powerful, and even Veracity won't work. Still unfazed, a flash of light emerges from Jiyu as he activates his Master Novice unique attribute, the Soul of the Cleric. He uses a blessing on his plus 99 reinforced wind stick, so he did listen to Riot's lone rambling. With the manly face and figure, Jiyu uses a holy swing up and makes a masculine, sexy pose. Or not, it's honestly a new disgusting look of Jiyu, and the attack disintegrates the demons in one go. Luna stares with dead eyes as she curses. Guys, that's the end of the video. If you like this video, please leave a comment in the comment section. Also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. Like the video and share it too. Thank you for watching and see you next time again.